This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money. Today we have a GE stove and the burners are not lighting up correctly. So one of them does get a little bit warm, but the other one doesn't get warm at all. So pulled the stove out, unplugged it from the 220 socket, and I just pulled out the front burner by pulling it toward me. And here's the little burner pulling it out at an angle. And lifting up on that little support, got that out of there. I'm going to lift up the front panel, and then it has two little arms that come down that lock into position to help lift it up. Just checking it out. It's pretty greasy in there. There's a lot of cooking oil that I'm going to clean out with a paper towel because that could definitely cause a fire. Looking at the socket that the element plugs into, the one here in the front, I think I'm going to replace it because it looks a little corroded, but the one in the back looks fine. So lift out the drip pan. There's the one in the back. And to get the socket out, I'll use a 1/4 inch driver socket, and I'll take out that 1/4 inch screw, and then I can pull the socket forward and kind of pull it off to the side here to work with it a little bit easier. There we go. And here's the new one. Took it out of its package. So when you put in these new sockets, you can splice in the wire, or you can run the wire all the way to the back. They give you enough wire to do that. So I'm just taking the old bracket off by pulling it off and then locking it in on the new one, pushing it up over until it clicks. Pretty cool design. And I'm just going to cut some of this wire off and cut the wire from the one coming from the stove, and then I'll just use wire nuts to splice these wires together, so it doesn't matter which wire from the stove goes to which wire from the new receptacle. Either way is fine. There's no polarity issue. So I'm going to wrap those wires, and then I'll put on the wire nut to get it really tight. It's going to bring power to the socket. So I'm just cleaning off all that grease. The customer actually complained there was a fire in there, and I thought it was maybe an electrical problem or a short circuit, but it was just the grease got so hot it caught on fire. And it's just the way they were cooking. They must have had a lot of grease spatter or oil spatter. So there's the smaller element. They're actually really easy to push the element in and take it out. Sometimes the elements don't heat up really well because they're not making very good contact. And to fix that, all you have to do is take the little metal prongs at the end of the element and bend them outwardly. This one was kind of bent in, so you want to come out to form a very slight V shape. Not severe, just a little bit, so they make better contact outwardly inside the socket. So here's a part for the bigger burner. You get these from Amazon pretty cheap. Here's a smaller one. You can see the little terminals at the end. That's the part that you bend outward slightly. These are the sockets. You can get a whole kit with 4 new ones, or you can just buy like one at a time. They're really cheap. So I'm putting the drip pan back in, and then I'm going to slide the element in at an angle and then push down. Felt like it didn't really lock in, so I'm going to try it again. It should feel pretty secure. That felt good. Here comes the bigger one. Put the drip pan in. Grab the new element. Probably bend it out a little bit. Yep. There we go. Push that into the socket. And then I got to make sure I push it down nice and secure so it's really flat. So when you put a pan in there, like if you're cooking eggs, it's not going to roll. The eggs aren't going to roll to one side because the pan is at a funny angle. I want to push it down nice and flat. I'm just getting rid of some of that grease spatter that was all over the stove. Plug it back in. When I turn it back on, I'm just going to reset the clock too. So I'll press the clock button, and then I'll use the up and down buttons until I get the right time, and I'll just press the clock button one more time. So this is on a GE stove, but most of these electric stoves are very similar in the parts and also how you can cure element that's not heating up well enough by bending out on the prongs. So I'm going to turn that to full blast, and then I can see now that it took a little while, but it's getting red hot, and that's a sign that the element is working. So it looks really good. Just getting rid of some more of that oil spatter. Nice and hot. Test the back one. That one looks great. And that's it. So pretty easy to do, pretty easy to replace those elements. And if you have an element that's just not heating up well, just try turning or bending out the prongs slightly so it makes better contact inside the socket. So hope that helps you to get your electric stove working better. So thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance, and we'll send you a lot more videos on how to fix home appliances. Thanks again for watching.